Good afternoon, everyone. This is Tracy Dean from Apostolic Radio Ministries International. Again, this is Tracy Dean from Apostolic Radio Ministries International. And today we are going to talk about a new initiative, Jamaican War on Drugs. Again, Jamaica War on Drugs. And this was held in the beautiful town of Santa Cruz, Jamaica. So let's go and see what's going on here. The Church of the Apostolic Faith presented on drugs among youths awareness seminar under the leadership of Bishop Scott. To join the church or to link to the church, you can use that QR code right here to link to the church. But in the seminar, they talk about drug awareness, drug education, and drug prevention. So they talk about education, awareness, and prevention. And this is real deal. We're going to look and see what our presenters presented on. But before we go to that, we need to realize we have a problem with drugs entering our nation, Jamaica. According to the seminar held at the Waterloo Apostolic Church, also known as the Church of the Apostolic Faith, on the direction of Bishop Scott, it seems that 90% of cocaine, 90% of crack, 90% of ecstasy comes through our bones. What is happening? We are losing our students. We are losing our kids to drug overdose as a result. How do we triumph? Is any of this avoidable? How can this be? As more and more drugs enter the country, we are losing lives. The report from police in Santa Cruz is that they are making a lot of effort to minimize drug use, to reduce drug use and identify offenders so that drug use may be made. The community must work with the police. It is possible to make an arrest and save lives. Now, what did the Church of the Apostolic Faith do? They are spreading knowledge. They are spreading the knowledge that people must respect life. Currently, we see that people value profit over human lives. So we're going to go to each of the presenters and give an overview of what they presented on. The first one is Mr. Sean Graham. He wants us to win the drug war. He told us we need to know what our kids are doing, know where they are, establish rules, establish consequences. But we also need to be a positive motivator in our homes. We were informed that there is drug education in our schools. It's in many of the curriculum, but we need to start telling our kids good things. We need to stop telling them that they're like the bad father, they're bad mother, they're bad relatives, and start telling them good things. The next presenter was Corporate Allen, and all the presenters are from the Apostolic Faith. She says, know your teen, police them, get involved. Don't send them to back-to-school events. Stop sleeping on the job of raising your kids. One of her quotations was, you sleep too much. Wake up. You sleep too much. And when she talks about you, she's talking about all of us as parents. In her presentation, she told us about marijuana and the street name. She told us about crack and the street names. She told us about cocaine and the street names. She told us about ecstasy and the street names. She also informed us that some of these are laced in baked goods, candies, drinks, and more. That was one of the key things that was brought home to many of us. Now, our presenter, Miss Carleen Smith Blake, who is a nurse, she said we need to get counseling for our kids. We need to be able to report when we see on drugs, when we see our friends on drugs. We need to be able to report when we see our people in the community on drugs. We also need to track prescription drugs. Make sure we know what's in our cabinets, because a lot of these drugs are being laced in different ways. So know what's going on. If you have a prescription drug, don't have your kids be too close to some of them, because they could be using them, like in the America, as things that you take, right? And when we say things that you take, they take them in place of, and now they become a problem for you. In the panel discussion or the question and answer segment, we gained a lot of deeper understanding to what is going on in our society. We realize we need to enhance school safety, we need to address drug and mental health, and we need to have some prevention messaging going on there. So what we want to say is, as a parent, regardless of your child education level, you are involved in making several decisions pertaining to resources. A part of this is knowing and understanding slangs on the street, as well as being aware of any possible drug use in your home and in your environment. What can you do? What steps can you and what steps as we parents can take? You see, there's a new norm where grandparents are now primary caregivers. This is not very ideal. You need to be a huge part of your parents' life. You need to get to know them. Again, you need to be a huge part of your child's life. My apologies. Get to know them. Connect with them. Have a conversation with them about this. Just in the same way, when you go home, you tell them, oh, you need Jesus. Oh, you need everything about Jesus. Tell them about drug prevention. You need to educate them. That's the same, right? And religious discussion, just as important as drug discussion. Don't allow your kids to attend certain parties, back to school events, and certain events are the places that we are distributing the drugs. Ask some questions. Stay informed. I specifically remember one of the moderators saying that she was singing a song that she thought was a great song, just to come to realize later that this song did not have the meaning that she wanted in her home. So again, people, stay informed. We cannot be too religious or heavily minded that we are no earthly good. Makes no sense. We need to stay informed. So, in parents, let us not leave everything up to Jesus. Because talking to our parents, talking to our kids, talking to people in the family, talking to everyone, so we can stay informed. We need to be having conversations at our dining table. You also need to know that some foods are laced with drugs. Some are baked goods, some are candies, some are drinks. And the same thing that is happening in the US is happening in Jamaica. You need to know that. Some of you talk about, oh, you know your own weed. Well, you need to also know that those weed can be laced too. That was presentation. That was an eye-opener for many of us. Again, we are stressing the need to build awareness in your home and your communities. You need to know that drug education is taught in school, but it needs to be reinforced in the home. If you see something, say something. If you hear something, say something. If you know something, say something. And this is just across the border. We need to inform the police, inform the authorities, and we can remain anonymous. But we need to be a voice of concern in our communities. We need to be a voice for our future kids. We need to be a voice of concern. We cannot to have our beautiful country and our beautiful town of Santa Cruz be overtaken by drugs. We need to play a significant role in the lives of our children. So thank you again. This is Tracy Dean from Apostolic Radio Ministries International. Again, it's Apostolic Radio Ministries International. You can scan the QR code on your phone so you can connect to that show and look forward to more upcoming events as we connect with the community, as we educate each other, and as we build a better Santa Cruz and build a better Jamaica. Thank you again. Have an